As always, it is very important for us to have a good prediction of who is going to win the US elections, because we need to have this information for our own geopolitical analysis of the world. But the elections are just getting so unorthodox these days that traditional polling and political simulations just don't cut it, and we need a more innovative approach to understanding at a deep level who and why is going to win the 2020 US elections. The Democrats, led by Joe Biden, or the Republicans, led by Donald Trump. So with that, I would like to welcome you to the 2020 Rome Total War election simulation. To make this simulation as accurate as possible, we are representing a multitude of factors represented by 4 different factions or teams in this case. The first, which is just the human player, is actually representative of the Illuminati, who is not going to get involved and just going to stay hidden in the shallows, trying to survive till the next phase and the next elections. Of course, the Democrats are represented in red by the Roman faction of Julii, the House of Julii, and the Democrats are represented by the blue House of Scipii, which is also a Roman faction. Carthage, in this case, is representing perhaps an unknown natural disaster or a pandemic of some kind. And then, joining the Republicans is Scythii, which is very similar, of course, to Russia, and we all know that they are in support of the Republicans. The Egyptians, they are going to be helping the left, the Democrats, and are representing the mass media, who obviously do favor the Democrats. Furthermore, we have the more wild supporters of each side, and the barbarian German faction is going to be representing the far right with some very fearsome warriors, and on the far left we have the British barbarians representing those extreme rioters and protesters. But now let's take a closer look, of course, into each of the individual units. And here we have the Republicans. These general bodyguards are representing the core team of Donald Trump. And as we know, these guys are very fast moving and capable. And these onagers represent Donald Trump's words, which are like fireballs raining out of the sky, like massive rocks. And anything they hit just get pulverized in a giant splash of gravity hitting them. The Democrats here have a similar setup, and these general bodyguards represent Joe Biden's, his core team, which strike like an arrow straight where needed, very experienced, very qualified, and very capable to take care of any challenge that they are thrown at. Joe Biden, of course, unlike Donald Trump, is much more precise in his talking and doesn't throw wild boulders all over the place. So his words are represented in more subtle and nuanced ways by a team of archers and ballista prepared and ready to strike like a needle exactly where his attention requires his words to address. Here we have Joe Biden himself standing with his extremely experienced Praetorian Guard, the most experienced unit on the field, and to represent this he of course has triple gold chevron units with triple gold defense. Now we see Donald Trump himself and his extremely experienced triple silver chevron units. There is Donald Trump himself, and these units are a force to be reckoned with. They have triple gold attack bonuses because, as we know, Donald Trump can attack and hurt anything he wishes. Those are extremely solid units, and combined with Joe Biden's, those are the strongest units in the field, who can do an immense amounts of damage to anything they run into. We are now looking at the far left protesters, and here we have chosen warriors, head hurlers who are extremely terrifying to the right. And of course on screen a while ago was druids, who are extremely good fighters, but also they help to inspire the rest of the left into taking action and standing their ground. On the opposite end here we have the far right, and we see some night raiders who are very good warriors and can hide anywhere. And these are the berserkers, one of the strongest units on the field. You don't want to mess with them, and they are not going to back down. And of course we have two-handed axe warriors representing the solid and ferocious attack of the far right, and being able to damage anything they set their sights on. Now we are looking at Scythia, which is like Russia, the same geographical region, and of course we have a general which can act swiftly and precisely, and a large team of axe warriors which just work as they are directed and will do whatever their owner or their liege says of them to do. Here we have now the media on the far left, and these guys of course strike like an arrow from far away and prefer not to get involved hands-on, but they will strike. And these Egyptian archers are very representative of the top of the media, and here we have some more archers which are going to do a lot of damage onto the Republican voters. Now we are looking at Carthage, and these elephants representing, of course, as I alluded to, COVID. And we don't know if they are going to have a big effect or a small one, but either way we are going to see where they rampage and what sort of effect they have, and which faction is going to take them out. Now, of course, we look at the most important and numerous units on the field, and that is the American people. Of course, on this simulation, we have thousands upon thousands of normal American citizens. And, of course, their skill isn't their martial combat, but they need to turn up and vote, and we will see how many of them maintain their morale and stand to back their leader. And here we see some more of Donald Trump's personal bodyguards who can act swiftly, and maybe aptly they are hiding in the woods until the time is right. But here we see the other half of the American people, and that is the Democratic voters. And again we have thousands upon thousands of them here. And their role in society is to vote for whoever they see fit. And I hope these guys can survive, because they're not very good fighters. But at the end of the day, this is what this simulation is about. What will happen to the American average person? And with that, we start. The Illuminati, of course, they have some wild flaming pigs, which they, as in every election, release in all directions to create havoc, false flag operations, and just hidden agendas. Anything they can do to stir the pot, any animosity they can create, they are going to do. And again, as the simulation suggests, they do this straight away. Here are the Russians moving out. And the media are marching. Oh, it looks like the far leftist extremist writers are going to be the first to engage, and they are going to attack the Republican civilian voters.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee!
So that notification was for Carthage, and the elephants, the COVID pandemic is rioting. And oh my goodness, Donald Trump is throwing hatred words at the leftist extremists, but he hasn't hit them. He's hitting his own voters, and they flee immediately. Donald Trump's words, it seems now, is also hitting the far extreme leftists. These chosen warriors are extremely dangerous, and they are chopping down the right. But the far left druids are maintaining the people's confidence by their chants, and they will not back down, as Donald Trump's words are hurtling in, hurting them, and the chosen warriors are just chopping down the far right. Sorry, not the far right, just the civilian right, the Republican voters. Oh, and what an extremely unheard of approach here. The leftist media are attacking in hand-to-hand combat. The archers are charging the Russians hand-to-hand with 1/3 of their force, and the other 2/3 are shooting down their arrows. So this is the first prediction. The far left is going to attack the Republican civilian voters, and the media are going to be attacking the Russians once again. No love will be lost between the American media and
the enemy general flees. Press forward.
Oh, but it seems Donald Trump himself has attacked with his Praetorian Guard to the farthest left and made the general of the far left flee. He is Donald Trump's personal bodyguard is very powerful, so although the chosen warlords are powerful, he just chopped right through that barbarians. And right now there's a lot of action happening on the field. We're not even sure where to look. We can see there Joe Biden's personal agents are running around, and Donald Trump's words are doing devastating damage to even himself.
And drive them
this
from
is
the
another
battlefield.
prediction.
Your general's nerve
His
is
onagers
broken.
are
He's
hurting the
fleeing
enemy, but
from the
hurting
enemy.
himself. His onagers are actually hitting his own personal bodyguard, and
The
this
gods
maybe
be
represents
praised.
another aspect of the
The enemy
simulation
general is dead.
of
His
Donald
men
Trump
know their
firing
doom
all his
approaches.
closest men who are very competent, but his harsh words have no discrimination. Oh, and here we see that Joe Biden's personal bodyguard has attacked the Russians. So Joe Biden's agents are going to be attacking the Russians.
Gods who fill
Oh,
the heart of the
and
enemy
we see Joe
general with
Biden's
fear.
other
Now he
agents, his
flees
closest
the field
inner
like a
circle,
coward.
are taking on the COVID pandemic. So here's another prediction. The Republicans are not going to be
It
bothered
would be
about the
better for your
pandemic.
general
But
to
Joe
fall on
Biden
his
is
sword
sending his
than
closest
live
inner
another
circle
day.
to take care
He
of it.
is running away.
So much action happening. Joe Biden's closest agents are doing a lot of work, while Donald Trump's words are being left at the far left, being hurtled at the far left, and hurting them, but also himself in the process. And here we see the Republican people now attacking the media, which is very apt. The Republicans have had enough of this leftist bias, and they are charging right into the media, chopping them down. But also now the Democratic people are backing the media and supporting them from the rear. Oh, but we can see here there's already a lot of carnage, and the media and the Russians did not fare well there. And now, as is indicated on screen, the Illuminati are getting involved again and releasing their war dogs, but the core of them are hiding in the shadows, hiding in the woods. They don't want to get involved. They just want to survive. Oh, but here we see Joe Biden and Donald Trump's closest inner circle are getting involved and actually have come to a head. But Donald Trump's inner agents, his inner circle, have clearly won with these general bodyguard horse units, and that is causing a massive rout. And it seems like Donald Trump's inner circle is now also going to take out the media, and the average democratic citizen just can't stand. They are all routing, all running away. But the media, due respect to them, are standing their ground and fighting valiantly without routing. They really do believe, it seems, what they stand in for. Oh, and here we see the Democratic people have won a major victory against the Republicans, and the Republicans have lost all morale, but the Democrats stand strong.
The field like a coward.
Oh, and there we see in the background some of Joe Biden's precisely hurtful words. Shooting. Who is he shooting at? Seems like he is shooting at just the Republican voters. Oh, and he's decided to personally attack some Republican voters, and also backed up by his words. They stood no chance. They rooted straight away. Well, what is Donald Trump doing with his words? What is he saying lately? Well, he is still attacking the far left and damaging them quite badly. I don't think they're going to be returning. Oh, and it seems like a large amount of the Russians have routed. They have had enough. They don't want to get too involved.
The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
And the Russians, oh, this is interesting. The Russians are attacking the Illuminati, so they know about the Illuminati, and they actually want to get them off the field. They saw the war dogs being released in all directions, and they were not a fan. Oh, but now the Russians are turning onto the Democratic people, and there's a lot of Democratic voters here, but they are probably not going to do well against well-trained, well-armored, well-equipped Russian agents. And that's right, they flee pretty quickly. Oh, here we see Joe Biden's personal inner circle of being very selfless, and he is worried, it seems, about the American people, because he has sent almost his entire guard to go take care of the COVID pandemic, and it seems like he is going to almost single-handedly take care of them. Here we see Joe Biden personally leading the attack against some more Republican people. Maybe he's in the swing states trying to convince people. They're trying to convince the Republicans, but they're just being mowed down instead. Wow, we can see already here that this hasn't been a good day for the American people. There's already thousands of civilians dead, and this is really what happens when there's division in a country. But here comes Donald Trump. In the back there we see also the far right moving in, and they are heading straight to an unsuspecting group of Democratic voters. Oh, the Democratic voters have turned out victorious, and the Republicans flee. They flee just as Donald Trump is about to enter the field, and the Democrats wisely decide to run, but it's too late. Donald Trump himself is upon them, and they don't last long. They are fleeing already. Donald Trump, as it turns out, isn't very interested in chasing down the average Democratic person. He has more important things to set his sights on. Oh, and his inner circle, they are all combined into chasing down, however, the Democratic voters. Oh, and here we see Donald Trump's inner circle has attacked Joe Biden's voice. This is maybe indicative of him finding some sort of a secret to expose, and it just shuts down Joe Biden's power.
The enemy general is
killed. And then we see Joe
Fear
Biden,
makes a home in our enemy's heart.
Praetorian Guard, him himself. They were battling against the far right, so that's a surprise. Joe Biden is turning out to be a bit of a warrior, going onto the front line and taking on the far right once and for all, straight on, man to man. But where is Joe Biden himself? This is his unit, but where is he? Where is Joe Biden himself? Is he in danger? He could be fighting the far right, but if he gets too far exposed, he himself could be taken down. Where is Joe Biden? The unit, of course, looks a bit different, but I can't see him anywhere. Where is he? These far right units are very dangerous, very high attack, very powerful. And Joe Biden, wow, he seems to be surrounded, absolutely surrounded by very, very many barbarians. Oh, and there he is, Joe Biden. We found him. He's on the ground. He's actually been hit down, but he gets up. He's not going down that easily. Oh, and the units have routed. So Joe Biden himself is getting right in front there, getting hit by the far right. But he keeps going. Oh, he immediately attacks into a unit of Night Riders. taking on the far right some more, and in the background you can just see all the Republican voters looking on. Oh, and the far right are in a mass panic. They're actually routing straight through Joe Biden's units. These Night Raider units are very powerful, but Joe Biden's personal bodyguard, so experienced, so powerful, they are just chopping down through the units. Here we see some more Republican voters. Oh, and there's Donald Trump himself. Oh, this is dangerous. This is not looking good for Joe Biden. Joe Biden seems doomed. He's attacking the far right. The Republican voters are all around. And Donald Trump is just about with his own personal unit. And he himself going to hit Joe Biden. But Joe Biden's seeing him coming. He's not going to be hit in the rear at least. Will he be able to get prepared in time? Donald Trump is attacking! Oh, and I think Joe Biden just got ready in time, and now it's head-to-head already. Head-to-head. Head-to-head. Joe Biden, Donald Trump facing off. The inner circle versus the inner circle. And just from a quick glance, it looks like Donald Trump maybe has some more units. Oh, and the Republican voters were going to charge, but most of them flee just when they get near Joe Biden. That's right, the Republican people can't even engage Joe Biden. He's just too experienced and threatening. Oh, and Donald Trump pulls back. There seems to be less of Donald Trump's inner circle now. Joe Biden and his inner circle are really doing a massive amount of damage. Oh, but that was a ploy by Donald Trump. They turn around quickly and attack once again. It seems the far right have had enough. I'm not sure where the barbarian berserkers are. I haven't seen them yet. But this is it. This is it. This could be the deciding point. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Let's see where the leaders themselves are. Where are the leaders themselves? Can we see them? The units look different. We just need to find the unit. Because it's impressive that both of the presidential candidates are fighting on the front line, but if they get overexposed, they could be killed. It's a real possibility. Statistically, being a president is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and if they're not careful and they themselves die, then the whole army's morale is going to drop. But where are they? It's hard to find the actual leaders. There is Donald Trump at the back, safe and sound, running around, shouting orders. Good on him. Oh no! Joe Biden has been hit right in the rear. It turns out the far right have not retreated. Okay, they just quickly come and retreat again, but they had a good charge there right into Joe Biden's rear. It just shows the experience of Joe Biden. They stood the test and are fighting. And Donald Trump's personal team seem to have withdrawn again. Some Republican voters charging to Joe Biden, but it didn't last. What is Donald Trump saying these days? Of course, Joe Biden's words have been mostly negated by Donald Trump's close circle, the cavalry charging into the artillery, representing some sort of conspiracy against Joe Biden, voiding his words. What are the Russians doing? So the Illuminati have set out some wild dogs, as we know, to stir things up, and the Russians are mostly ignoring this, but they're going to have to turn around and deal with the Illuminati. Yeah, and we can see they are trying to chase the Illuminati off the field. Good on them. Yep, these are the war dog owners of the Illuminati being chased away. And here we still have the Illuminati, and it seems like some Democratic voters are running away right past them as they are hiding in the shadows. They don't want to get involved. They're just interested in surviving and maintaining a subtle power from the shadows. And here we see, I think Joe Biden's cavalry is gone, but Donald Trump still has a unit there. Those guys are very powerful, very shocking, especially if they can charge into any other unit's rear. And just having a quick look, I don't see the left media. I think all the far left and far right are mostly gone. Oh no, we have some more far righters here. But it does seem like the Democrats are losing. There's a lot less of their units. Joe Biden is still fighting strong, but Donald Trump is also strong. So it seems like, although Joe Biden is standing strong, all the other units are just collapsing on the left side. And as far as the right goes, they still have a lot of resources. I think the only left unit on the field now that has any sort of power is actually Joe Biden and his Praetorian Guard. I must say though, looking at these units, Donald Trump's Praetorian Guard seems to have less now. Oh, and there's Joe Biden at the back. That's smart of him, he doesn't want to get overexposed. Oh, and there's Donald Trump on the right, also at the back. What's this? Oh no, the cavalry is moving in slowly. It seems like they're going to go for a hammer and anvil tactic. Donald Trump himself is pinning down Joe Biden, but if his special forces team comes swinging around, they're going to do huge damage, hitting straight onto Joe Biden himself. And this is even more dangerous now. The far right are closing in. Joe Biden is going to be pinned between Trump himself, his special agents, and the far right, who are extremely aggressive. But there's no doubt about it now. Joe Biden's inner circle, his closest men, are defeating Donald Trump. They are just more powerful, more experienced, it seems. Oh, but here comes the far right. They're going to charge with the double-handed axes straight onto Joe Biden, and they've got to watch out for that cavalry charge. But there's no doubt about it, Donald Trump's inner circle are losing, and if we're not careful here, Trump himself or Biden himself could fall at any moment if they get overexposed. It's best the generals stay back. Oh, but this is looking so bad for Joe Biden. This is looking so bad for Joe Biden. In the background we see some Republican voters fleeing, but the far right and Donald Trump's cavalry and Donald Trump himself, this is going to be a massive attack on Joe Biden. Oh, but this is unbelievable. Donald Trump is fleeing himself. The Praetorian Guard is fleeing. That's very surprising. Donald Trump himself is fleeing off the field. Fleeing in the direction of Joe Biden, mind you, and the far right can't take this. If Trump is fleeing, they're out of here as well.
Unit!
Oh my goodness. Joe Biden may have won this single-handedly. Can Trump recover though? Units can recover from routes, and Donald Trump still has a lot of resources. He still has his onagers, he still has the Russians on side, he still has his cavalry on side, he still has the berserkers somewhere, I think. Still has a lot of the far right support. If he can just compose himself and turn around and lead, he could surround Joe Biden, because Joe Biden is just standing by himself with his complete inner circle, but that's it. There's nothing else. No other units to support Joe. And his onagers are still, they seem a bit stuck. Joe Biden, who knows, he could still win this if he's strong enough himself. Donald Trump is fleeing, and his onagers, his words, his metaphorical words are stuck. He's got nothing to say. Joe Biden has stood the test of time. Oh, but what's this? I didn't notice this earlier. There is yet more of the cavalry of the Republicans. So maybe this represents that Donald Trump, for whatever reason, we don't know yet, he's going to go head-to-head with Joe Biden, maybe in a debate, and get totally exposed by Joe Biden himself. I think that's what this is saying. In some more of the debate, Joe Biden is going to devastate Trump. Trump is going to run away, basically give up, running with a tail between his legs, having nothing left to say, his onagers stuck. He is going to run. But the Republicans are not going to give up. They still have a lot of horsepower left to go. The Russians are still on side, and they are going to keep fighting, keep trying to surround Joe and come out victorious. So this prediction, of course, now we can see the really advanced nature of this Rome Total War simulation, because so what it is predicting, it seems, is that Donald Trump is going to flee, but the Republicans are not going to give up, but they are going to take a period of recollection and figuring out what to do. They are not going to engage with Joe Biden. They are collecting their troops, and there's still a lot of resources for the Republicans. It seems like the berserkers are totally untouched and fresh. These guys are devastating. And of course on the side of the far right, we saw there just as well, the Russians are still very much ready to go. They still have some manpower to contribute, and these axe warriors are no joke. Then of course we have some, okay, we still have some Democratic voters, so it seems like there are still people who believe in the Democrats and the values for which they stand. But overall, this has not been a good year for the American people. There's just mass carnage looking around, and although there's a lot of lives lost, it's mostly of the American people. And this really shows that the scent sowed by the Illuminati to divide the people is the real problem. The problem is the Republicans and Democrats being at each other's throats, just causing mass carnage for everyone. There's no need for the Democrats and Republican people to hurt each other, and it seems Trump is still fleeing. He has not turned around. Trump is still fleeing. He could turn around and very likely take victory, because there's nothing standing between him and victory but Joe Biden, and he's got a lot of resources to call upon. The Republicans are just encircling Joe Biden, but not willing to engage. He is absolutely surrounded. The Illuminati there, you can see, just looking from the shadows. Oh, and it seems the Democrats, although they believe in Joe Biden, they are not willing to engage. They flee at the sight of the Republican elite. And let's speed this up, see if they engage. Oh, thought they engaged there. But no, the Republicans are still not willing to engage. Maybe they're playing it smart, giving the units a chance to rest, giving the far-right berserkers and the Russians time to approach. Oh, they've engaged. The Republicans have decided not to wait. They are going to go head first. They have totally surrounded Joe Biden. Where is Joe Biden himself? I'm worried about him. He could get killed here. This is just absolutely unexpected outcome, where Joe Biden has been leading from the front. Really, he's sent his outer circle, you could say, his cavalry to take care of COVID and to take care of the Russians, taking care of external threats, and then he himself has attacked Trump, come out victorious, attacked the far right, come out victorious, and now he's taking out the Republican Party, the cavalry, all by himself, just him and his inner circle, and it's not looking good because he had been almost totally surrounded, and these cavalry are extremely powerful, the most powerful, as far as I know, cavalry units in the game. Very powerful, very fast, huge attack bonus for charging. Where is Joe Biden? Is he okay? Oh. There's just so few of Joe Biden's in his circle left. Oh wow. The Republicans are fleeing. They are fleeing at the side of Joe Biden. Half of them anyway. Oh, and now it's looking very sparse. Very few of Joe Biden's in the circle left, but also very few of Republicans left. Oh, the Republicans call it a day. Wow, that is unexpected. I really thought the Republicans were going to win there. Wow. Joe Biden and his team was very stretched out. Oh, there's Joe Biden himself. He was fighting right in the midst of it. Let's them pull together and see how much units they have left. Seems like Trump is gone. The Republican Party's gone, but the far right, they're just in a frenzy, an absolute berserker rage. I don't know what that represents. Is it QAnon? And the Russians are still coming, but they're keeping their distance. But I can't understress how strong these berserk units are. They just don't care. Oh, okay, it's the far right. It's the far right berserkers versus Joe Biden himself. Joe Biden has done a good job there. He's staying back for the time being. I'm not sure which unit is actually better, the berserkers or Joe Biden's closest guard. There's just so few of Joe Biden's troops left. We can see the onagers in the background there. This is close. Could Joe Biden pull this off? Could he pull it out of the bag? Could Joe Biden single-handedly defeat Trump, the Republican Party, the far left, the far right, all three waves of them? Oh, there's Joe Biden himself. Joe Biden has taken up the sword and he is attacking the far right.
They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
The far right have actually fled. I didn't know that was possible. I thought berserkers never flee.
Units!
Well, so there you go. I think that's pretty conclusive now. Very unexpected. Joe Biden is going to be victorious. It's going to be a lot of casualties, mind you. But he and his inner circle are going to come out on top. Oh, what is this? Oh, they're turning... Oh, Donald Trump. He's lost. He's lost this. There's no chance. Donald Trump is off the field by now, surely. The Republicans are gone. The far right are gone. But still he's hurtling words at Joe Biden. He's hurtling words, and wow, that was super close to hitting Joe himself. It seems like maybe even though Donald Trump has lost, he's still sour. He still wants to hurt Joe, and maybe he's throwing all his strength at Joe Biden himself, hoping to get him so exposed or reveal some secret that he can't be president either. And this would be bad because there's no Democrats left on the field except for Joe. If Joe flees as well, there's nothing left but Russians, and that will leave a power vacuum between the Russians and the Illuminati. Oh, this is scary. If one of those onagers hits Joe, it's gone. The onagers are hitting the troops. They are hitting Joe Biden's inner circle. This is crazy, Joe Biden. Oh, wow, look at that. It seems like Donald Trump's hatred and spewing of words is destroying himself now. His rocks that he's hurtling has hit one of his own onagers, and it seems like Joe Biden will, well, he's going to close in at least. Can he and his inner team defeat maybe 100 or 200 of these catapult managers? Because they're not too bad either. And there's maybe only a dozen or 20 of Joe Biden's inner circle left. It seems like Joe Biden isn't satisfied with beating Trump and the Republican Party. He wants to go to the core of what Donald Trump stands for. All the hatred that Trump stands for, he wants to attack that and get rid of it. There's just so many Republicans. So few of Joe Biden's troops left. Joe Biden has some fantastic morale. Wow, that has to be said. And there we can see in the background the Illuminati still hiding in the woods. They're not going to engage. And also the Russians. They are very slowly closing in. But we have yet another prediction by the simulator that the Russians, although we are very wary of them, it seems like they don't really care to engage too much. They will throw some forces at the election, but they're not going to engage to a suicidal level. They are just slowly walking towards Joe. Very slowly walking. And wow, Joe Biden, he seems to be easily winning, his team seems to be easily winning one-on-one when it comes to the catapult managers, the engineers. But there's just so few of his inner circle left. And of course the question remains of Joe's age and all. How much hit points does he himself have? We've seen him go down at least once, and he's been on the front line throughout. Joe Biden is playing this smart. He has won the election, it seems like, pretty much. And now what he's standing for is more of a spiritual, metaphorical victory, taking on the hatred of Trump. But he's not getting involved too much. He's not going to go right on the front line, because he understands that he is the symbolic head of the Democrats. And if he falls now, it could still be the end for them. So he's maintaining his distance. And it seems like they're going to come up on top. Republicans are just falling apart. I am super impressed by this simulator. We'll have to see if it's accurate, but its detail is phenomenal.
The enemies show their
I guess
true
the next
virtue.
question is,
they are
how
not
is
soldiers,
Biden
only frightened rabbits running from our men.
That's right. The entirety of the Republicans have fled. Joe Biden has come out victorious against Trump, the Republicans, the far right. But what about the Russians? Now that he's president, how is he going to handle external threats at his ripe old age? Oh, and the rain. Look at this battlefield. It's not been a good day for the American people. All this division sowed between the two parties. It's just not good for everyone. Everyone has suffered. Everyone has suffered, but Joe Biden has come out on top. But will he now be able to handle the next phase of his career? Oh, wow. Maybe I should stop the simulation now. This isn't looking good. I don't want him to fall to the Russians. But those are a lot of proper Russian warriors. Oh, the Russians are keen now. They've been slowly walking, but now they're closing in. Well, Biden is charging. Oh wow, the Russians are not feeling like this. Half of them, well, not a half, a quarter of them run straight away. Oh, but now it's Biden's elite team versus the Russians. And how much morale do these guys have left? It's not good to run as a Russian. You don't want to run. You're just going to continue to run. Wow. I have so much respect for Joe Biden, the warrior. Oh, Joe Biden is right up on the front line, and maybe that's a good thing because there's so few of his troops left. He needs to take charge. Oh. What's going on here? He's venturing deep into the front line. Oh, someone takes a swing at Joe Biden. Another swing at Biden. Oh, but Biden strikes him down. Strikes down the Russian. Oh. Axe hit straight onto him. But he strikes back. Biden is well, oh, he's down. He's down, but not dead. He just gets straight up and takes down another Russian. Wow, Joe Biden's been down a few times. Always on the front line. He is extremely good warrior. Wow.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear,
wow.
and now they flee!
There we go, that's it. Biden has come up victorious against the Republicans, Trump himself, the far right, and the Russians once he's in power. There is now nothing left on the field except the Illuminati. But as we know, the Illuminati are not going to engage. They don't want to expose their existence. They are going to maintain their existence in the shadows. They are going to stick around until the next 4 years, release some more war dogs, release some more flaming pigs, settle, rush things up, hash things up, light some fires, get some division going, and maintain their existence. see the Democrats driving the Russians from the field. There is just nothing left to do now for Joe Biden but to address the core systemic issues of the American system. He has to address the Illuminati, which maybe more realistically is like a deep state. He needs to address these forces of division. He needs to unite the people because this year there was just too much carnage. There's been too much carnage on the battlefield. This isn't what America's about. It's not about division. It's about unity. It's about coming together and finding common causes and finding the best leader to bring America to a new age of prosperity, power, and benevolence. America's not about killing each other. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about finding the American spirit. And that starts with throwing out the Illuminati.
Forward!
The dark state must go. The dark state, we've had enough of it. Joe Biden is marching. Him and his core team, extremely experienced. That's right, Joe. Forward, and there we see. There we see the Illuminati. Very well equipped, but they've never fought a day in their life.
Retreat!
Illuminati may be fighting from the shadows and have a lot of control by causing division, but hand to hand they have no power. The thing is, if you can just expose their existence, if you just start marching towards them, Joe Biden, they are going to flee because they don't have what it takes. Remember, guys, go out and vote.